So, quick apology, I know I've put out a ton of content about this DLC that's on the way, I do apologise, I'm not trying to just milk it or sponge it for views, but new news just keeps dropping all the time. So, basically what we've got today is, in some new imagery dropped by Saints Row, Josh Birk is mentioned in the credits, which basically gives me the impression that Josh Birk may return to Saints Row. And now I've got two pieces of information to basically back this up. So, first thing is, as I mentioned, his name is now listed in the credits. I will take this with a pinch of salt, considering Jim Boone is also mentioned, and I don't think he's really a playable character currently, but, you know, him being mentioned does basically link to the fact that he could be here as an actor, so that is some cool news, and I would definitely look forward to it, considering that the next DLC is acting related. And the second bit of information I have to basically back up the claim that he could be in the game is pretty much the fact that Nightblade is already a confirmed character in this new universe of Saints Row. You've seen him on some imagery, and it's basically confirming that Nightblade is a real thing, and he is in this new game. So, you know, it's kind of hinting at the fact that he is going to be a returning character. We've also heard rumours of a returning character coming back to Saints Row, so perhaps this is it. Now, I personally thought that it was going to be Genki in the Dot Ketchum DLC, but this is really hinting at Josh Birk returning, which is pretty cool, actually. As a bit of a Saints Row 3 and 4 fan, I do kind of like to see him here. Obviously, he's not the ideal character to return. I would like Gap, Pierce, someone like that. But I do think that giving this sort of little nudge to the older games is possibly even better than introducing a mainline character from the older games. Perhaps by doing this, you basically show a reference without making it the highlight of the game, having practically a new character back in the game, if that makes any sense. Perhaps by doing it like this and just showing a little reference, it makes it feel like less of a big deal that an old character's returning, and not like they're just reusing a character from previous games to kind of beef up this one. It's more of a small nod and a wink, which I do think is kind of nice. So what I want to talk about briefly just at the end of this video, because I don't want to keep you here too long considering how much reboot content I've put out recently, is just that the possible introduction of future characters. So if we get any more characters from Saints Row, who would I kind of like to see? Well, I already want Genki to return in the Dot Ketchum DLC, as I feel like he was the face and sort of mascot of all the weird killing activities in the previous games, and he's already mentioned in the game, so I feel like he'd actually be quite a good fit and add a bit more charm and charisma to the reboot, because I don't think the reboot really has any sort of icon besides maybe that weird cowboy guy, but we never really see anything like that based in the actual game. He's just a sort of monument area. Of course, you know, the fanboy in me of the older games would love to see some characters like Gap, Pierce, and all that return, but I don't know if it could be done in a way that doesn't seem really half-assed. I feel like if they were to do that, people would just be like, well, they want to bring them all back and just leave this old cast behind, which in a way is kind of a fair comparison to make if they start bringing back key characters of the old games. Like, if we are just going to bring them back, why didn't we have them in the first place? It would have probably been a better introduction to this new series, so I do think that that's a genuine concern. And by adding the old characters back from the main games, people may look at it like that. I personally don't mind either way. I would like to not see the old cast be completely reused. I'd like to see them at least reworked a little, so it's not just like the ported across from the older games. But I don't want them to basically just be half-assed put in the game for the sake of having the old characters so people don't complain about the characters anymore. But by that same token, having the old characters would be pretty neat. I don't really know how I feel on it, but either way, I'd be cool with it. But yeah, basically what I want to get at here is just that Josh Birk could be returning in the upcoming DLC, and I don't want to keep you for too long. So yeah, thanks for watching this video. Sorry that I have to make another video. I'm going to try my hardest to not make another reboot DLC video until it's out, but stuff just keeps dropping, and I feel like you guys want to know, so yeah. Take care, everyone.